The two women shared the same first name and were close friends. They both had a passion for skydiving, and they both loved the same man. Prosecutors say that the love triangle led to a high-altitude murder when Elle's Clotenman sabotaged her friend's parachute in a fit of jealousy as they skydived together, sending her romantic rival plunging to her death in a horrifying fall captured on video. Isn't that sick? As her murder trial opened Friday, Clotenman sat nervously in front of the makeshift parachute bag and helmet that Els Van Doren wore as she frantically tried to open the chute before hitting the ground. Okay, I should not laugh. Honestly, I'm not laughing because, no, it is funny. It is funny. And I shouldn't laugh because it shouldn't be funny because the woman died. All right, so I'm going to say that, and I'm going to say it forcefully, because that's what we do in broadcasting. We say something forcefully in order to temporarily trick our brain into thinking that something is not funny. And it removes the laughter from the voice. It also removes the feeling of laughter from the face, because your whole DNA structure has been changed because you have, in essence, chastised yourself. And that's what I just did. I just chastised myself for laughing at this woman's pain. This woman died, and she was falling out of a plane and plummeting to the ground, knowing that her parachute would not open. How miserable of a death is that? And you see, while I naturally want to laugh, I no longer want to laugh because I've told myself that this is a very serious matter. That's what you got to do. From now on, that's what everybody should do, what I just did. Now the inclination for laughter is done. I'm actually pissed because I told myself that you need to get pissed. And I obeyed myself. I'm under a direct order from me. Now let's move on. And I wonder how difficult it would be to do something like that here. I think that I want to do a spontaneous research call to a skydiving company to find out how secure these things are and if we could penetrate their security system in order to get this done.
Miami Skydiving Center, this is Billy.
Hey Billy, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm fine. I wanted to ask a question about skydiving there. I was looking, I'm sorry, I should have introduced myself. My name is Darryl, and I'm the personal assistant of Radio Dan, of the Radio Dan show. And Dan was actually looking to take some private skydiving. I don't know whether or not they would be lessons or practice. I don't know how you guys do it. Because of his status, he wouldn't want to do it with a group. He's kind of looking to do it, you know, on a solo way to keep the looky-loos and things like that out of the way so that he could go up and just, you know, practice this along with maybe an assistant or two. Before we even go any further.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, again, I've never been skydiving. This is my first time even setting up something like this. So I didn't know whether or not it was a group of people that went up or if it could just be a smaller group, just the entourage of Radio Dan.
All right. Well, we can take 2 people in a plane at a time. We use a really small plane for exactly that reason. Because we don't like to send people up with, you know, a whole bunch of people and a lot of distractions.
Yeah.
We want it to be, like, real personalized.
Which is exactly what we want. Which is exactly what we want.
So we can take 2 people up at a time.
Okay.
You know, and the people who go first will get to watch the other people land. And, you know, so it's pretty cool.
So it's known in advance where they're going to come down at?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, it's a tandem jump, which is where he would be attached to a professional skydiver.
Oh, okay. Okay, so he would not...
And that's really the best way to start skydiving.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know it sounds really cool, like, yeah, I'm just going to put on a parachute and go jump out of a plane.
Right.
But when you get up there, I mean, you know, it's a lot more intimidating than you would think.
Well, I was reading an article a few minutes ago about a woman who had jumped out of a plane and someone had sabotaged her parachute. And I was really trying to figure out also, if we get to the point that he's able to use his own parachute, does he pack it himself? Does his assistant pack it? How would that work if he were ever using his own?
Well, we recommend before you start, you know, jumping on your own, that you do 2 tandem jumps.
Right.
So let's say he already did those.
Yeah.
Then he would start what's called the AFF program, which is the Advanced Free Fall program.
Okay.
And
see, this guy is so serious. I feel a little bit bad.
After his initial, once he's
because I want
to
get another question out,
which takes 7 solo jumps with an instructor jumping with him.
All right.
Once he's off that, then he would have the option to pack his own chute. But of course, he could always pay someone to do it for him.
Now, is it possible? Is it possible for one of us, like if Dan has some trust issues, and if he gets to that point, is it possible, say that I might be able to get trained to pack Dan's chute? Okay, that's what I needed to know.
You can definitely get trained to pack. I mean, you could even get trained to pack his reserve chute, which you have to have. I mean, and those people make decent money. You know, it's like $50 a pack job.
Okay. So we could possibly create a scenario once Dan's done this a few times and he's getting familiar with it. We could possibly create a scenario where I'm the only person that has access to Radio Dan's parachute, his backup parachute and his regular parachute. They're packed by me and nobody else would touch it. They go directly from me to on his back. We could realistically get to that point.
Yep.
Okay.
He would have to get his license, which is he would do the first 7 jumps, like I said, with an instructor, and then you have to do 18 additional solo jumps by yourself. And then you get what's called a Class A certification.
All right.
And that means you can go anywhere in the country that offers skydiving, and you can have your own parachute. You can pack your own parachute. And it's like $25 most places.
Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty exclusive on Dan, so I really would only be looking to pack his. But I just wanted to make sure that we could eventually get to the point that this is a completely sidebar question. If anything were to ever go wrong with the parachute and the backup parachute that I have packed, I guess am I held responsible if something goes wrong during Dan's fall?
No, you are not held responsible.
Great.
Because skydiving
that's what I need to know.
Dangerous.
I figured out my way to get rid of Dan.
That and as well as insurance companies.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure because I know that it will be me packing his bag, but I also at the same time would not, I would want to feel like I wasn't liable in case anything happened. Did you hear what was said? I mean, really, and we've got to consider this. See, this woman went about it the wrong way. I suspect that she did not get certified like this gentleman just told me. This gentleman basically, this gentleman just taught me how to murder Radio Dan. He says that we could get to a point where I'm the only person that would be packing Radio Dan's bag for parachute. I'd be packing his parachute, and I would be packing his backup parachute. We could get to a point where I'm the only person that has anything to do with that. And if we got to that point, or the moment that we got to that point, he says, I would not even be responsible when Radio Dan went free falling.